isn't just other people. Sometimes it wears a wedding ring and sleeps next to you. My name is Bruna, and this story begins with something that seems too beautiful to go wrong. Love at first sight. I worked as a clerk in a hardware store when I met now called Rick, because yes, I changed the names and a few other things to protect myself. And because I don't want anyone going after what's left of this story. Rick was charming, the kind who knows how to use his words. He had an intense gaze, stubble, a smell of grease mixed with cheap cologne that made me weak in the knees. He worked in a painting and body shop nearby. He started showing up at the store frequently, always needing something, always looking at me more than he should. At the time, I thought it was fate. Now, I know it was targeting. He knew exactly what he was doing. Soon after, he asked me out. The first time, the second, the third. It was fast, intense. By the end of the month, we were seeing each other every day. In less than a year, we were living together in a small rented apartment 2 blocks from his work. And, in the beginning, it seemed perfect. Rick was affectionate, protective. He picked me up from work, made a point of cooking sometimes. He said he didn't want to see me tired, that I deserved the best. I felt safe, desired, loved, until the rules started to appear. First came the advice. Avoid going out with those single friends of yours, Bruna. You're different from them. Then came the warnings. Let me know when you get to work, when you leave, when you go to lunch, okay? And soon they became orders. You're not going out today, not without me. Little by little, I distanced myself from the world, from my friends, from my parents, from myself. But when you're blind with love, you don't realize you've already entered the slaughterhouse. He controlled every penny of my salary. He said he knew how to manage it better than me, and I let him, because it was for our own good. In the beginning, he only drank on Saturdays. Then, he started coming home drunk on Wednesdays, on Tuesdays too. When we argued, his voice turned into a shout. The shout turned into a slap. The first one was on my face. I fell. He cried afterwards. He swore it would never happen again, and I believed him, like so many believe. The aggressions became routine. The guilt a pillow I hugged every night. The hope a flame almost extinguished deep in my chest. Until, one morning, I needed to be hospitalized. 2 cracked ribs, a deep cut on my arm, a broken tooth. It was in the hospital that they told me, "You're pregnant, 3 months." I didn't know, and there, in that moment, I knew what I had to do. I needed to get out of this story alive. Rick visited me in the hospital. He brought flowers, chocolates, sweet words. He said he was a monster, that he was going to change, that he loved me more than anything. But in his eyes, I saw something else. The silent promise that if I tried to escape again, he would end me. That's when I made the toughest decision of my life. It wasn't the police. It wasn't a shelter. It wasn't God. It was witchcraft. After I was discharged from the hospital, Rick picked me up as if nothing had happened. He put the seatbelt on me, kissed me on the forehead, and said, "Now we're going to start over, okay?" But I knew I wasn't going to start over. I was going to finish it, but my way. Back at the store where I worked, my boss, who was more kind than I ever knew how to appreciate, noticed my sadness. He called me aside, asked if I wanted to talk, and I broke down. I told him everything. He looked at me seriously, crossed his arms, and said, "You need to get out of this. And if you can't by law, get out by faith, or by the darkness." Yes, he believed in the other side. He knew that, right there in Greenville, There was a man known for doing work, not for love, but for freedom. The kind of thing the church pretends doesn't exist, but that the world carries in its basements. His name was Mr. Leandro, but people just called him the old man of the black candle. I went to him on a rainy afternoon, saying that I needed help, but without anyone knowing. He lived in a trailer hidden behind a disused laundry. The entrance was full of bottles with herbs, hanging branches, and a muffled sound that came from inside, like a hoarse chant. Leandro greeted me with tired eyes, marked skin, and a voice like someone who has seen too much that he shouldn't have. You want him dead? No. I just want him to go away, to love someone else, to forget me. Then you want a binding in reverse. I didn't know what that was. You want the love he feels for you to unravel, for the energy that binds you to be cut. This is not common. It takes more work than trapping someone, and it's dangerous. I'll do anything. I just don't want to die at his hands. He took a deep breath and nodded. Asterisk, then bring me 3 things. A strand of his hair, a piece of your underwear that he has already touched, a photo of the woman he loved before you. Asterisk, the last part was easy. Everyone in town knew that Rick was still obsessed with his ex, a woman named Miranda Sour Blonde who cheated on him years ago and left him scarred forever. I still had an old photo of them in a frame he forgot in the closet. I got everything and returned to the trailer the same week. Leandro prepared the ritual with the patience of someone who performs surgery on the soul. He spread herbs, drew symbols with dark chalk, lit a candle that flickered as if it were afraid. You will leave this with me. I will light this candle for 7 nights, and when it burns for the last time, he will change. But don't forget, he will leave your life, but you will carry the scar. The connection will be broken, but something will stay in its place. Something always stays. I nodded. I didn't care about the scar. I just wanted to breathe. And it worked. 5 days later, Rick left the house with a new shirt, a haircut, a perfume he never used. He said he was going to meet some friends. He came back late, smiling. The next day, he started repeating her name in his sleep. Miranda, Miranda. 3 weeks later, he woke me up with a sigh. Bruna. We need to talk. I prepared myself for everything, except for what he said. I don't think I love you anymore. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just shook my head, like someone thanking the rain for wetting the ground. He packed his things the same day. He said he was going to try to talk to Miranda. He said I deserved better, and he left. I was free, but freedom has the taste of unfinished business. Rick vanished, disappeared from the city as if he had been erased with an eraser. I heard from acquaintances that he and his ex, Miranda, went out a few times, but she didn't want anything serious. He insisted, he forced, he followed, until she got a restraining order. The police couldn't find him after that. Some said he left for Asheville. Others swore they saw him on the edge of an overpass, talking to himself. I didn't want to know. I was free. I was alive. I was fine. For about 3 weeks. Until the first night, I woke up at 3:03 a.m. with the door to my room ajar. I swear I had locked it. That same night, I heard his voice in my dream, not as a memory, but as if he were there, whispering, "You shouldn't have left me. Now we're linked forever." When I woke up, my mouth tasted like iron, and my pillow was soaked, but not with sweat, with blood. My nose was bleeding, but no wound. I started seeing things, small things at first. A folded shirt of his at the bottom of the closet which, I was sure, I had donated. the blue toothbrush reappearing in the sink. A note, in his handwriting, stuck to the refrigerator. I missed you. I called Mr. Leandro. I told him everything. Silence on the other end. Then, he said, you weren't clear in what you asked for. You asked him to forget you. But you didn't cut the tie. You didn't burn his name on the candle. You didn't give back what was his. I didn't know I needed to. You didn't know, but he did. The following week, my bed started sinking in the middle of the night, as if someone were lying next to me, and the most frightening thing was the sound. Not of breathing, of laughter. A stifled laugh. A laugh that tried not to be heard, but that wanted me to know it was there. I woke up with scratches on my back, doors opening on their own, and at midnight sharp, the bathroom mirror fogged up, even without steam. And a word appeared. Mine. I started locking myself in my room. I put coarse salt at the door, a crucifix on the headboard, a small pot of holy water that Mr. Leandro gave me. Did it work? For a while. But Rick's obsessive love was no longer human, and love that comes back from limbo, comes back hungry. The last straw was one morning. I woke up with something cold touching my stomach. It was his hand, but without flesh, as if it were made of condensed shadow, ice, and rage. And then I heard the voice. If I can't have you alive, I'll have you dead. I ran to Mr. Leandro's trailer. I knelt down. Please, help me. Get rid of him. He looked at me for long seconds. He lit a black candle and said, I can trap him in a place where he won't come back, but you need to give me something of yours, something that represents your love for him, something that still hurts. I knew what it was. I took the only thing I had kept, the wedding ring. I never understood why I didn't throw it away. Maybe out of fear, maybe out of longing, but now it would be the seal of the end. Leandro did the ritual, with the candle, with the ring on the plate, and with my blood on the wick. In the end, he said, now he is sealed. But if you open that closet of your memory, if you pronounce his name again, he will come back, because love, like his, doesn't die, it rots. Since then, the silence has returned, but sometimes, when everything is too quiet, and the air suddenly turns cold, I feel that he is watching me, not from the outside, from within.